Sit back on the heels or sit cross-legged. I think I'll sit back today. Take a moment to find stillness. Turn your eye gaze low or close the eyes. Welcome yourself to the 60-minute power yoga hour practice. The word of the day is recycle. I was able to get a little ahead of the spring cleaning this week. Do some big recycling runs, mailing off little kid clothes to other littler kids that can use it, that sort of thing. And it was making me think of the fond appreciation I have for Yogahour. There's always a unique sequence, and yet we recycle the same poses over and over to see how it feels on this day, this practice, this breath. And within all of that recycling, we still get a strong sense of creativity. We'll use that to guide us today. All right, just nod your head down, chin to chest. Then pick the head back up to neutral. And today, then we're gonna look up towards the sky, nod the head back. So like a very dramatic yes. Nod the chin down, and then through neutral, and up to the sky, back to neutral. And then a very slow and dramatic no. Look over your right shoulder, the center, and the left. And then just one more time, no to the first side and to the second side. As you come back to central, open up the eyes and crawl out to all fours. Round the back, press the hands and knees down. As you do so, pull your navel up into the spine for cat pose, big full cat pose. And then change to cow, let the belly drop down, pull the chest through, wag the tail a little bit, eyes, tailbone up towards the sky. Downward facing dog. Walk the hands a little bit more forward as you tuck the toes and lift your hips up. And we're finding stillness, more static motion at first in these postures. So resist the urge to pedal out the feet if you can and just hold the pose. Okay, and then I want you to set your knees back down and recycle those three poses. Cat pose in a faster orientation. Cow pose. Downward facing dog. Do that a few more times. You set the knees down, round the back, drop the belly, down dog. See how this is different just by changing the speed. Cat and cow and dog. One more time, cat and cow and dog. All our favorite animals. Come forward to plank pose. Stay on your toes or drop down to the knees, but do squeeze your glutes in, lengthen the tailbone, tone the abdomen, look a little forward. Add in push-ups. Go down and up. Again, toes or knees, maybe a little combination of both. Try 5 here. Can you get in 5 push-ups? And then lie flat down on your belly. Reach the hands back behind you. Lift everything that you can up off of the mat. Lower it down. Change to child's pose. And to downward facing dog. Step the right foot in between your hands for a long, low lunge. Get that full step in. Down dog lunge. Spin the back heel down. Walk the hands to the inside. Reach way out towards the top corner of your mat and broaden the right knee away from your right shoulder. Walk the hands back in. Step through plank. Lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. And then step the left foot forward in between the hands, low lunge. Walk the hands to the inside, spin the back heel down. Down dog lunge, walk the hands out towards the top right corner of the mat. And here we're broadening the left knee now away from that front left shoulder. Breathe. Walk it in, step back to plank. And actually I want you to flip over here. So I'm going to set the knees down. And just flip over, butt down, belly up. Point the fingers out towards either direction, the long edges of the mat. Press down through your feet and lift your hips. Reverse table. If you need to change the orientation of your hands, you can do so, what works best for you. Squeeze your glutes and lift through the front of the thighs. You've got this. Stay with that reverse table for 3, 2, 1. And then lower it down and flip yourself back over. Downward facing dog. Bend your knees a lot and walk your hands backwards to your feet. So we're ending at the back end of the mat. Deep chair sit. Bend the knees a lot. Sit into your thighs. Keep the chest down and forward and stretch your arms out in front of you. The belly can literally be pressed against your thighs here. Sit the weight back into the heels. Stay with this really, really low. One more breath. Inhale and stand up tall. Lift the arms to the sky. And stretch the arms towards the right side. Bump your hips to the left. Start to heat things up a little bit more. Come across the center and on over to the other side. Inhale, summit pose, meaning straight up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold, touch down to your toes. Half lift. Walk it out, plank pose. Hold the plank or add 5 more push-ups, down and up right here. Remember, toes or knees, go at the pace that works for you. Get in your full range of motion, don't cheat it. Lie flat down on the belly, hands back, palms to the sky. Nice job, lift. Lower everything down, press back to child's pose. Give yourself a breath. Downward facing dog. Step the right foot through your hands again for low lunge. This time moving to forearm lunge, both hands to the inside of your foot. My first bit of help is lift your hips higher rather than lower. It's actually going to give you more space. Then go to your palms, bend your elbows to start to sink your chest a little lower to the ground. Try placing your left forearm all the way down first. You kind of weight over towards the left side, and then maybe slide in right forearm as well. You can, of course, stay higher by staying on the hands. If you are accessing a yoga block, it could be under the forearms here. Okay, crawl your way back up. Plank pose. Y'all got one more round of push-ups in you? I bet you do. Hold your plank or make the motion up and down 5 times. I'm taking it to the knees to make this one work. Feel free. Then press back to child's pose. Down dog. Step the left foot through to your low lunge. Both hands to the inside. Good, lift hips higher instead of lower. Try to stay up, up, up in the back side so that you can go down, down, down. Right forearm and then left forearm. Square off the hips towards the front by pulling left hip back in space and right hip forward. Breathe. And then walk it back up. This time as you swing the the front foot back into plank pose, hold your plank and then try going down to the forearms. Right forearm, left forearm. Now this, I think, is really tricky and it asks so much in hips. I want you to lift your right leg up off of the ground. And then already on the forearms, can you swing that right foot through to your forearm lunge? Crawl back up to your hands. Hands all the way up to the front thigh. And it changes to a twisted lunge, left forearm to the outside of the right leg. Twisted lunge. If I lost you along the way, join me here. Untwist, set the hands down to the inside. Can you walk it back, meaning forearm lunge? Swing the right foot back. Swing the left foot forward. Walk up the hands to the front thigh and twist right elbow to the outside of the left thigh, palms together. Twisted lunge, hold it here. Move with your breath. Poses we know, maybe recycled in a little different energy or sequence. Okay, untwist. This time step forward, both feet to the front of the mat. Stand all the way up, reach the arms to the sky. Change, hands behind your back, interlace. Keep the elbows bent, but squeeze them towards each other. Try to close them the base of your palm. Now straighten the arms, pull the chest up towards the sky. Good. Can we change to chair pose? Bend the knees, sit into your thighs. Let the arms go up. Here, as my arms go up to the sky, I have to let my palms splay out away from each other. Sometimes even release the grip of the fingers. Do what you need to make the changes here. Hold it one more breath in that chair pose. Head down, arms up position. Let everything go. Release the hands, reach it up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. This looks like our traditional sun salutation. Inhale, half lift. Step through plank. Down to the mat, chaturanga. Cobra. Downward facing dog. Lift the hips up and back. Step or jump to the front of the mat. Half lift, forward fold. Stand, reach the arms to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest. Tree pose. Place your right foot onto the left leg. Pick your height, above or below the thigh. Many of you practicing the core series with me, we're keeping foot lower to actually work in a little bit more recruitment. Low abs, mid abs, sides of the waist. Take the arms up. Nicely done. So slowing it down again, just taking it over to the other side. Place the left foot onto the right leg. Again, you're choosing your height. Maybe even staying lower simply for the purpose of making the abs do all of the work. Lower the left leg. Take it back to your forward fold. Feel free to bend the knees. Step back to plank. Little change up in plank. Turn to the tops of your feet. If that's too much in your ankles, knees, don't do it. Stay with your regular plank, but we are here, full plank. And then do switch your feet again, back to tuck toes. Lower it flat down to your mat. Cobra, press down into your hands, lift your chest, slow cobra. Feet down, hands down, chest lifted. Broaden across your collarbone. Give it another breath in cobra. Change to downward facing dog. Side plank. Balance on your right hand, outer edge of your right foot. Either cross that left leg over front for balance or stack the feet. Take left arm up to the sky. Lift, lift, lift the hips. Squeeze the glutes. Switch sides. Place the left hand down. Swing over to the outer edge of the left foot. Again, the right foot can step forward for a little more ease and balance. If it works, stack the feet. Keep the hips up. Don't let them sink down. You've got this. And we are back to downward facing dog. Step your right foot through to your low lunge. Spin the back heel down, come up, warrior one, arms to the sky. Bend the front knee a lot, sit into the front thigh, but push weight into the back leg. Look straight ahead or up, palms apart or together. Lower the hands around the front foot, downward facing dog. Right into the other side, step left foot forward, spin the back heel down. That back foot, turn it in a good 70 degrees. Come on upright. Press as much into the back right heel as you press into the front left big toe. Warrior one. Lower the hands, downward facing dog. This is garland pose. It's a squat with your heels up. I want you to take the inner edges of your feet together, but bend your knees out towards either side, long edge of your mat. Start to walk your hands back close to your feet. As you do that, butt goes down towards your heels. Looks like a little froggy position, yeah? But now walk your hands out again, more like child's pose. If your heels sink to the ground, cool. If they don't, cool. Do try to splay your knees way out to the side and get your belly way low towards the line of your shins. Top half of the class, we're going to arm balance right here. Drag your hands about 2 feet in front of your feet. Crane pose. Place your knees onto your upper arm bones, Bakasana. 1 or 2 feet come off of the ground, right into it. Think butt down, heels up. Work to straighten the arms to challenge your pose even more. Feet back down to the mat. Have a seat. Stretch your legs straight out in front of you. Lift the arms to the sky like your body's making an L shape. Good. Fold over, touch your toes. Paschimottanasana. Inhale, lift the arms back up to the sky and drop the hands down by your side for staff pose. Take the hands 2 feet behind your hips. You have to lean back to do that. Drag your heels in towards your butt. Lift the knees off of the ground, heels off of the ground. Make your legs straight as they'll go. Maybe even take the hands for boat pose towards the feet. So it's a low boat pose. I always call this one canoe. Hold it. You've got this. One more breath. Let your heels come back down, body in staff pose again. Sorry, lost the words there for a moment. Do that same setup again. Hands go back 2 feet. You can turn the hands out to the side to make that more tenable. Start to drag your heels in towards your butt. But this time, keep your heels down and lift your hips up. And then walk your heels back out. So you're in that reverse table, but with straight legs. Can you get your toes to try to reach back down to the floor? And then again, staff pose. Seat your butt down to the ground. Shoulders right over the line of the waist. Okay, we're going to make a similar shape, but all the way down onto the floor. Lie down onto your back, soles of the feet to the mat. Y'all know this one, bridge pose. Press down into your feet, shoulders back of the head, and lift your hips up. It's a lot of that same work as the reverse table, but your head and shoulders form the foundation there. Set your hips back down. Okay, from here, we're going to downward facing dog. I want your hands to be close to where your feet are right now. So you're going to rock yourself all the way up. Use a little momentum to rock over the body. Step, jump all the way back to downward facing dog. Try that garland series one more time. So bring the inner edges of your feet together. Bend your knees, point them out to the side. Walk your hands close to your feet. Sit your hips way down towards your heels. And then the hands walk out towards child's pose as you try to get lower, head, chest, belly towards the ground. Sink your heels towards the mat. Stay and play right there, or a second Bakasana with hands closer. Hips lift enough to set the knees onto the upper arm bones and fly 1 or 2 feet. As the feet set back down, walk your way back to downward facing dog. Nice second look there. Lift your right leg up into the air, three-legged dog. Step it all the way through into your low lunge. Spin the back heel to the mat. Stand all the way up for warrior two. Build your torso upright, open towards the long edge of your mat. Deeply bend the front knee. But just like in warrior one before, push a lot of weight and concentration into the back leg. Warrior two, it's recycled almost every single asana class. Be friendly with it. Let's flip the palms and reach the right hand up, left hand down in our reverse warrior. Cartwheel the hands down and around the right foot. Stay though here in your low lunge. One more thing on this side, warrior three. Can you build your hands to your waist? Slowly step that back foot in until the front foot has all of your weight, and then left leg goes up. Make a T shape in your body, extend your arms straight out in front of you. Warrior three. Sink it back down to the mat for low lunge. Trade to plank. You choose a couple of push-ups here, or you can take it down to the mat for your regular vinyasa flow, or hold the plank. Everyone now, downward facing dog. Lift your left leg high, three-legged dog. Step it all the way through into your low lunge. Come upright to warrior two. Spin the back heel down, open towards the long edge. Energy of the body really opens up and changes here. Nicely done. Flip the palms, lift the left hand high, right arm goes down your back. Cartwheel around the front leg. Low lunge, hold it for a breath. Walk the hands up to the waistline, get stronger in the core. Shift your weight into the front leg, lift the back leg up, warrior three. Arms go out in front once you're ready. Feel free to keep a nice bend in the front knee so it's easier to track your hips and shoulders towards the ground. Melt it back down to your low lunge through plank. Nice, strong, and steady. Hold that plank. Add 3 more push-ups. Or chaturanga to your cobra. Everyone downward facing dog. Let's join the back of the mat again. So bend the knees. Walk the hands towards the back end of the mat. Utkatasana, that chair pose again. Sit into the knees. Thighs, extend the arms. So this is more of that bar stool, a little higher up so that we can keep more vertical in the spine. Everyone do stand all the way up. And it changes to eagle. Wrap your right arm under the left. Bend the knees, sit into the thighs. Wrap your right leg over the left. Squeeze the outer right foot to the outer left shin. Uncross your legs, uncross your arms, stand tall, reach tall. Second side, wrap your left elbow under. Wrap your left leg on top. Gadadasana, eagle pose. Try to be just as vertical in the torso here as you are in that pose that came before, Utkatasana. Okay, unwrap the leg, unwrap the arms, lift. Forward fold. Downward facing dog, walk it out. Start on the left side, left leg high, three-legged dog. Slow drag, knee to chest, forward, and step the foot all the way through. Half moon pose. Keep the left foot on the floor, left fingertips. Lift the whole right side of the body up and open. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. As slow and controlled as possible, take it back to your low lunge. A step or a jump, switch, right foot forward, left foot back. Half moon pose on the right side down, left side of the body, lift, open. And as slow as controlled as you can, lower back through to your low lunge. And ever so slowly pick up the right foot and drag it through the center and to three-legged dog. Staying on the right side now, drag the knee back forward into your low lunge, step the foot through. Lower your left knee to the ground. Pull the torso upright, arms to the sky in Anjaneyasana or monkey lunge. Twisted monkey, take the left hand down and out towards the left corner of the mat. Turn your right toes, knee, hip out 30 degrees. Take the quad stretch, bend the back knee. Pull the heel towards the butt. Rainbow shape of the right arm all the way up and around to grab hold of that back foot. So you want the head of the right shoulder to feel like it's drawn up and pulling backwards rather than dragging you forward. Friends, we're taking a recycled look at Bakasana. That was that crane arm balance pose. But this time it's just with one leg. So as you unwind yourself, place the hands to the inside of your foot. Can you pull that right knee up onto the right upper arm bone and hover? What if you were doing it one leg with the back knee up and even the front of the toes, like we practice in plank, toes down? There's some core. Downward facing dog, lift your way up and back. Second side, so that's 3 different postures. Lift the left leg, bring it through, nice slow step through. Drop the back knee, monkey lunge, or Anjaneyasanas first here, arms up, heart open, full heart. Good, it changes to twisted monkey. Bring the right hand down, out to the side. I place a good amount of weight on that right hand so that the rest of the body has a little more space and openness. Left toes, knee, hip, turn open. Bend the back knee to feel that quad stretch. Left hand up and around to hold on to the foot. Maybe a little bend in the right elbow to give a little more awareness and opening for upper back. And kind of like recycling to make a new pose. It's a 1 legged crane pose. The hands come down to the inside. Start with the back knee on the ground and try to place your left thigh onto your upper left arm bone. And mine's muscular strength, squeezing arm to knee, knee to our inner thigh really, to the arm. Pick up the back knee if you can and rock to the front of the foot. Oh, that's harder than full crane. Step both feet back, lay down onto your belly. Give yourself a nice easy cobra pose, whatever that one means to you. Nice, easeful, let it feel good. Take it back to child's pose. Lift your torso to sit back on the heels and take the nice easy twist. Look over your right side. Look over your left side. Come across the center and walk it out to all fours. Lift your right leg up and back. And then cross behind your left leg to set the knees together and feet apart. Shift your weight to sit on the floor, maybe a yoga block between your feet, and fold over. So cow face legs, but we're folding torso down and into the legs, more like child's pose in the upper body. Plenty of power packed throughout this hour of practice. But what you'll see as we wind towards the last third of practice is there is some seated quiet as well. It's a different sort of challenge. Rise back up to all fours, uncross your legs. Let's give that cow face pose a second side. Lift the left leg up and back. Cross behind your right leg. Set the knees together, again, feet apart, and shift your weight to sit back in between. Yeah, once you're there, lean forward. Walk the hands more out. Can you release a little here? Don't squeeze the hips quite as much. You might feel a little more stretch through the outer hip. Lift your torso back up. This time to unwind, just lean back and unpretzel your legs. Change to lie down onto your back. Keep the soles of the feet to the mat. So we've already done bridge pose. We've done a lot of lifted belly, inverted table poses. We're taking this up just a little notch by squeezing it in closer. So take your hands and try to brush your heels. If you've got that, can you bring your hands to actually grab more towards the front of your ankles? Wherever grabbing hold of the feet works for you while keeping shoulders and head down, go for it. But then lift your hips up in bridge pose. And I usually try it again with the hips lifted. Like, can I walk my feet in just a little bit more here and try to grab the front of those ankles. Pull the shoulders up and in towards the midline. If you have the hold of your feet, release. Lift your heels up to give you a little more space as you lower down. And then everybody hug your knees into your chest. Shoelace pose is a lot like cow face that we just did, but on our back. So we're going to cross our right leg over the left, separate the feet, and try to grab the front of your ankles. So my right hand's holding onto my left foot and vice versa. Pretzely poses, asking more for stretch and mobility. Flip to the left leg on top, and again, grab your opposite ankles. If you press your heels out, away from your body, while the hands try to push the feet back down, you should notice through that tug of war, a nice little extra as well. Stay there for 2 more breaths. As you unwind, grab knees to chest again. Set the sole of your left foot down to the mat, and then right leg goes straight up into the air. Do a crunch in your upper body, head and shoulders off the mat, and try to grab hold of your ankle with both hands. How about left hand goes down to the mat, and can you even reach and grab first 2 fingers and thumb around the big toe? Then try laying your head and shoulders down, keeping that grip, and take the right leg out towards the right side. Shoot it towards the line of your right shoulder. It should be easier with the sole of your foot on the ground. How about with left leg straight along the mat? Walk it all back. Do everything again. Sole of the left foot on the ground. Right leg straight up to the sky instead of off to the side. Lift head and shoulders, both hands hold. Release the crunch. Release both legs all the way down. Second side, set the sole of the right foot on the ground. Left knee into the chest with both hands. Stretch the leg as straight as it'll go. Head and shoulders off the mat into that crunch. With head and shoulders up, can you take your big toe grab and right hand down your side? And then lay head and shoulders down. Try to keep the leg straight. And left leg goes out to the left side. Again, sole of the right foot gets to stay on the ground. Or you can progress to a straight leg. Big stretch. Take every stage to walk it back. We're not in a rush here. Sole of the right foot. Left leg to the sky. Head and shoulders up. Hands to the ankle. And lower everything down. Shavasana, 3 breaths right here in Shavasana, a little mini Shavasana. Breathe in, breathe out. All right, we're going to end up in plank pose next with our hands where our feet are. Pull your knees into your chest. Give yourself a couple of rocks for momentum. Step, crawl, jump your way to plank pose. From plank, lower very slowly down, down, down to the mat. roll onto one side of your body so that we can tuck our arms underneath us. And then you roll back down. Shoulders, chin, forehead on the mat. Separate the feet at least as wide as your hips. Do your best to rock your shoulders down and forward and lift your legs up off of the ground as high as they'll go. Lower the legs all the way back down. Extract your arms. Bend both knees. Grab hold of the front of your ankles or the front of your feet. Bow pose, lift through both sides of the body. Think extend the knees back and chest forward. Bow pose. Exhale, lower it down. Take the hands, tuck them right under the shoulders, about the height of the mid-chest. Cobra pose, press down through the hands and feet. Peel the chest up. Cobra pose, maybe as much as to straight arms, still keeping thighs on the ground. Slowly lower back down. Change to downward facing dog. Side plank, we've done it once already in practice. Recycle the pose. Right hand, outer edge of the right foot. You can do it almost exactly like you did. Maybe it was a step of a foot over for balance or a stack of the legs. Ready for a progression and a big challenge? Catch your left toe, big toe, into your hand like we just did, lying down on our back, and do your best to stretch the legs straight up to the sky. Full V-Sage, Vashisthasana. Take your time to release and change to your second side, left hand, outer edge of the left foot. Again, you're starting where you were first time around. Staying there. Or progress the variation. Right, first two fingers and thumb, wrap around the big toe. Leg as straight as it'll go, up to the sky. Open the hips, open the chest, maybe even look up. Downward facing dog. Walk your hands backwards to your feet. Stand up, mountain pose. Gather your breath, your awareness, your intention. We started with Utkatasana, belly down to the chest. We are doing that again here. Hands to the waist, bend the knees, sit into the thighs. Dip the chest way forward so that your belly is resting onto your thighs. Please take these next variations to the progression that works for you. Arms out in front. Take the hands down to the floor. This is one-legged crane pose with one leg straight to the front and one leg back. With the hands down on the floor, step the right foot just slightly to the outside of the right hand. It's kind of like a runner's prep. And now can you make the left knee balance on your upper left arm bone? Heel off the ground. I'm doing this to the side. I'm going slow in case you want to do a little bit more watching before you go. On the front side, left knee on your upper left arm bone. I'm going to sit in almost like crane pose, and as I do that, stretch the right leg straight out. Give it a look, give it a try. It's a little bit of all the pieces we've done today. Drag it all back. Everyone stand back up to mountain pose. This is probably not the easiest entry in. It is the version we're working today. Bend the knees, sit low into the thighs. Again, taking the progressions that work. We'll go a little quicker on this side. Hands down. Step the left foot to the outside edge of the left hand. Again, you're almost in that runner's gait to start. Try the right knee up onto the upper right arm bone, heel off of the ground. And I'm not wrapping, I'm simply squeezing my left leg to the left arm as my butt sits lower, left leg out to the front. Stand back, mountain pose. Clear the breath. Forward fold, downward facing dog. Come forward to plank. Lie down on the belly, flip over onto the back. One more big ask here. Soles of the feet to the mat. Bridge pose, press down through feet, shoulders, head, lift the hips up. Stay in bridge pose or progress, upward facing wheel. Hands go to the shoulders, elbows in your peripheral vision. Push into the feet to get the lift of the head. Change to the top of the head. Or keep going, straight arms, pull the chest through. I like to rock my heels up to get the chest through and then place them back down. From upward facing wheel, make sure you tuck chin as you come down. Everyone release down if you're in bridge pose. Take the knees into the chest for supine child's pose. Excuse me. Remember eagle pose from earlier, cross the right leg over the left, just the legs here. Arms out to the side. We're going in both directions. Drop the knees over towards the first side, doesn't matter which. Usually one side with the eagle pose legs feels a lot more typical than the other. Come across the center, drop the legs to the other side. It is one of my favorite releases after the big back bend. And then back to the middle, eagle legs, second side, so left leg over. And again, drop the legs to both directions. First side and second. I hope it goes without saying, if the twist of the legs isn't great for you, you just stack the legs instead. constantly using that language of how can I adjust and make this pose accessible for me with the spirit. Unwrap to the center, give yourself a nice hug. I'm taxed in the best way. I hope you are as well. Shake it out. Find Shavasana. Arms, legs. Whew, release. Couple of heavy exhales. Slowly make your way back to a seated position. Keep your eye gaze low or the eyes closed. A few more breaths to really check in. Let's take this goodness from practice out into the practice of the day. Fold the palms together, thumbs to the sternum. I do that in the sacred sound of Om, the sound of beginning. Sing along, listen, or tune it out. Empty the breath here. Take a deep breath in. Bow in deep gratitude to yourself, each other, this practice, and in welcoming the next moments. Namaste.